So we spent the better part of 4 episodes thinking that Jack Reacher was this knight in shining armor of sorts, protecting this woman who lied about being sick, but yet we thought she was still vulnerable, only for him to walk into a hotel room and find a hit squad sliced up like ribbons. Then realize the woman that he has been protecting this entire time is actually the most dangerous person on the board. Now, this for me completely rewires how I look at the back half of where the season may go, because originally I thought we were just following some government conspiracy plot. Now it's a bit more deep. Now we have to figure out who Lila Hoth really is and how Reacher is going to survive, holding the bag of all these dead mercenaries in a room. And I'm pretty sure he'll make it out of the situation fine. He has the backing of a senator to a degree now, so I'm sure he'll at least get out of jail. I don't think we have to worry about Reacher being locked up very long, if he gets locked up at all. But before we unpack how our boy did get into those handcuffs, this is your spoiler warning for episode 4. So now that you've been warned, let's go ahead and get into this. The narrative shifted gears a lot this week by finally turning those ghosts that we've been hearing about Indonesia into an actual, tangible, immediate threat. Now, we saw at the end of episode 3, going into this episode, how Reacher took a different approach and went and talked to Samson directly. And we know all of that led to the chief of staff jumping off the roof. And now we see what happens after. Samson decides that, he needs a beer to go think and talk about everything. Reacher joins them, they have a conversation. And Samson basically confesses to having to protect scientists, them watching over or protecting the scientists and some biological weapons program. And he also confesses to training somebody named General Putra and his soldiers, who allegedly used those same tactics to exterminate civilians in Indonesia. And I say allegedly because of the events of this episode. I'm not sure how much Lila is telling the truth anymore. Now, while Reacher's off playing interrogator, we see Tamara and Jacob executing this plan to get inside his sister's old job to find out what may be on her computer. And this does happen successfully. Tamara manages to get inside the job, get on the computer, find out that there's one file that was copied and erased, and it was sent to the incinerator, and the only copy that exists of it now is on this flash drive that everybody's looking for. Meanwhile, we see Reacher beat up some more CIA agents, and I'm wondering what's going on because it seems like this conspiracy is starting to tighten as we get deeper into this season. Now, we see the friction in this episode is palpable, especially because we see this rare emotional side of Reacher in this episode. He sits down with Jacob and he makes this admission that he feels guilty for the death of Anna because he identified himself as a cop, and thinking that that would give her some comfort, it actually spooked her and maybe caused her to kill herself. But this gives us his reason why he's in this fight to begin with, because he really doesn't have to be here because this really isn't his problem. But let's go back and talk about that evidence trail that was left behind for us now, because Tamara's infiltration of the burn site actually may have given us a big clue to what's going on here. So like I said before, we saw her log into the computer and she got into the files, and she found this one file that had been erased, sent to the incinerator, and it was also copied on a flash drive. So we know exactly we don't know what was on it, but we know that this is the only copy of whatever that file is. And we know that a lot of people want it. But the hidden clue here is she didn't have it on her like everybody has suspected this entire time. We find out later in this episode that she actually mailed it to the hotel or some location where she was going to meet Lila. But one of the messed up things that does come out of this episode, we do find out, and I'm glad we found out now and it didn't drag it on through the season, that Lila's son is dead as well, and he had his throat slashed. But his death is significant because it is a clue to maybe some of the other murders that are happening and who maybe the real villain of this story is. The medical examiner later confirms that Ben Merrick was murdered with this Indonesian carved blade called a Karambit. And I'm sorry if I pronounce that incorrectly. You can tell me how to pronounce it correctly in the comments. But that exact same weapon is also used to kill the escort. And that is also the same weapon that is used by Lila and I think her mother or whoever that other lady is in the murder of all of these would-be assassins or kidnappers, I guess you want to call them. But now it's starting to seem that everything is starting to point to General Putra, whoever that may be, because he has not been introduced yet unless he's sitting right in front of our faces and we don't know it. Because nobody's saying that General Putra could not be a woman. And it's interesting to me how Reacher seemingly gets set up in this moment, because Lila and Amisha pull out their knives and they go to kill these men in this room or defend themselves, but they clearly kill everybody. And Reacher basically gets stuck with the bag. And yes, he instantly gets arrested and he's going to probably be questioned in the next episode, no question there. But the one thing it does do is gives Lila a massive head start on trying to find where this flash drive actually is, because we know that it was mailed somewhere and to her. So maybe she can find her own male. But this does put Reacher in an interesting position because now not only does he have to battle law enforcement, probably even ask for a favor. And we haven't seen Neagley yet, and I'm pretty sure this season is supposed to end or lead into her show. But even if it doesn't, Neagley appears in basically every season at some point, and she always kind of get Reacher out of these tight binds. So this would be a perfect time for Neagley to show up. Because while the mystery is a little bit different, the key thing remains. This is the time where Reacher just needs a little bit extra help, and the army that he has isn't enough, and he just needs that extra push from somebody very familiar. So that's my prediction. I think Neagley shows up in the next episode. I don't know if she will or not, and it doesn't matter if she doesn't because the story is going in a very good direction. I'm really enjoying this season so far. It kind of sucks that we got the first 3 episodes and now we got these 1 episode drops, but who am I to complain? I'll just to go along for the ride as it comes. But I need to know where you guys stand on this. What do you guys think about Lila? Is Lila the big bad in this season, or is Emisha maybe General Putra? Because we don't know their last names, and we can only assume that General Putra is being presented as a man on purpose, but that does not mean that Emisha is not General Putra. Yes, it could be Lila, but I would just imagine that if somebody was trained in all these things, that it would probably be a little bit closer to the age of the senator. So that would lead me to believe that Emitra could be General Putra and is the villain of this season, just hiding in plain sight, but not in plain sight at the same time. So you guys let me know what you think about that theory. And also, if you don't think they're the masterminds behind everything, who do you think it is? Is it Samson? Is it somebody else that maybe hasn't showed up yet? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. And if you made it this far, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. It helps the channel. Make sure you follow me across all social platforms. I'm trying to do a better job at posting on them. I am mainly active on Threads and TikTok, but I'm trying to do a better job at getting on all of them. So bear with me. I will be there as I get there, and I will always be here so you guys know exactly where to find me. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Stay safe and have a good night or good day.